Huh. It's on YouTube. You can have... Oh, there it is. Oh wait, is it still working? Oops. Okay, it looks to be working. Alright, good. Uh-oh. Very good. Very, very, very excellent. Very superb. Very... Alright, that's enough of that. So... we kind of have to just wait around for this to finish downloading. I don't think we can start up any other game, and I can't change the language setting without disrupting it. Guess I could start, let's see, what's the other thing we're doing in the evening? After Ginger goes home. Because we're pretty much going to play Skyrim until she leaves. And then when she goes home... Oh, let me edit this to be like 4:30. Yeah, I can start preparing the next one, which is Kirby. Let's go to past. Here we go. Now, for once, we're actually going to start playing this game. This is the one that's been the most, like, delayed of everything. Right. Okay, I don't have any instances on Restream. This is the first time we're doing it there. So... do I want to copy one? I think it's just as well to create an event. It's not really more efficient to reuse one. Oh. That's weird. Okay. Rats. VStream doesn't seem to work very well right now on Firefox. Oh, I could also update the image on here. I'll do that. I guess I won't do that. Maybe if I don't have two instances of VStream running, that'll help. That might be the problem. Be a little silly, but maybe that's it. There's the first half of the download, but we still have to do the second one. Well, maybe that is helping. That might just actually be what it is. Okay. Raywhybee. On VStream, this will be a whole new event, just because there'll be an interruption. I mean, unless a whole bunch of people come and I don't want to lose them or something. I guess that's possible. 19 more minutes. Jeez. What am I supposed to do for 20 minutes? Talk? What kind of weirdo just talks on the stream? There's no point to that. It's like, ooh, we can just sit here and chat. Why don't you sit here and chat while playing a video game? Why don't you do that instead? You know, actually do something worthwhile. I really need to improve this thumbnail. It's kind of low quality. Well, low resolution. I'm not sure how that happened. I'm sure I got high resolution. She's been leaving little... Well, no, let's just put it for 6. Or 7. Bum, bum, bum. I guess I don't want to copy the description. Bum, 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 dun. I'm calling it Will We Make Progress? In honor of the fact that we haven't really done anything so far. I guess I should... Oh, now it's like 14 minutes. Unless the time's really flying, that the 19 minutes was just a... It was still, like, parsing out how fast it really should be. Now it's probably a little more accurate. Bum, 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 ba, dun, da, 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 dun, 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 dun. Bum, 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 It's too bad because it's one of my favorite thumbnails because it's like the idea is Kirby ate me and took my hat for his powers. And I like that. It's funny. Okay, so like I said, because there's going to be more of a delay between this... Well, maybe there won't be. Tell you what, I'll just make it later. On the other hand, since we're just sitting here on our thumbs, we may as well make it now, if we need to make it at all. That's the trick. Do we need to make it at all? You know what, maybe I will. It really just depends on how many people show up right here and now. I'm not angry. Stop looking angry. Sometimes the broadcasting spell gets a little messed up. Maybe I should go to the bathroom. Well, the rain's chilled out. Oh, that's what I should do. I should get the dog's, the dragon's blanket. since she's sitting on the hard, cold ground because she wanted to be near me because she's freaked out. When does that begin anyway? Oh, in about an hour. Or at least last... Hold on, let me see. Okay. Maybe that's for Eastern time. I think I'll be right back. Guess I should put some distance between me and the desk, since this uses motion controls too. Oh, hi, Ginger. Hi, Ginger. Sleepy little Ginger. One of these days, I'm going to force her to go on screen. Okay. No ato shiteimasu. I know that's middle of. Pray. Ga shiteiru. Ya. Hora no ato no. I guess I'll give that a pre-like. She's... Oh. Okay, so apparently that really is starting at 3. I guess this whole downloading business has delayed things. So, I'm just gonna have to miss half an hour of this. Well, either that or... Alright. We're just gonna do nothing more than one single round of S. I guess it'll be S rank, won't it? Oh. I just got a message from my grandmother, so I need to attend to that. It just as well, I suppose. Okay, I'm just gonna pause that so it's not using it. Anything. Well, hopefully it isn't. Da, da, da. Really, this shouldn't even. Well, at least it's for Splatoon, so it's not like a big story-based thing that this is like just faffing around on. It's kind of more streamy, so at least there's that. Oops. Too bad I didn't plan to do this afterwards, because we could have been doing Skyrim right now, but I guess it doesn't matter. Ah, now we are ready to go. You little sweetheart. Sasha manages to be even sweeter than Ginger. Uh-oh. I just realized we're not... Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Let's start the thing. I mean, all they're gonna do is tell us about the new weapons and whatever. Maybe I should try out the new umbrella. Oh. So what was all that download for? Okay, I guess they're not doing it until later. I guess. Hold on, I need to see the store. I need to speak to your manager. Alright. Well, tomorrow we're going to have to make sure to swap to English. My universal translator can only... Well, it's not all that universal. It's more like a universe translator, but it doesn't translate every language. So it, translates, common of my tongue into English, and of course English into common. That's why there's a bit of delay. Oh, hello. Not there. Anyway, there's a delay between what I say and what it shows, because it's actually translating like after the fact, you know? Alright, gotta pay attention. This is serious business. Good job, team. Fucking morons. Damn it. Poor timing, man. What the heck? Whew. That worked out all right, I dare say. That's not still saying that Animal Crossing is live, is it? That wouldn't make any sense. Boo. Okay, good. So far, so good. Oh. Exalty can fallen behind a little, but if two of us give him points, then it'll kind of average out more. Well, in the main splatting, anyway. Oh. Now what's going on? Not on VStream. Not on Twitch. How many people are on YouTube? Or maybe it just counts like people, it kind of dropping and coming back in. Because Restream seems a little funny with that. Oh no! I forgot to switch to the game scene. Stupid. Now no one's gonna believe I won a match. You want to get me, you're going to have to come get me. Oops. Damn it! You put him right there, huh? Okay, go get it. Go get it. Oh my god, if you had just been faster. What the fuck is wrong with you? Well, we did a pretty good job there, all things considered. Damn it. Come on, people! What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh my fucking god. Shoot him already! What the fuck is wrong with you? What? Sorry for getting salty. Not really. It's the heat of the moment. What can you do? Well, at least we didn't totally blow the defense at the end there, but... oh, man. He's going south. Oh, only one more coin, and then we'll be done with that. And then we get to refresh and make some more. Hopefully, we'll only have one more match, too. One more match. Another game, and then it's down the hatch. Ginger. 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 This also go. Oh, one over there. Pew pew pew. Uh-oh. Good timing on my part. Where are you going? Oh, really? Well, that's okay, because our teammates can take care of the rest. Alright, watch out, pals. Oh, for crying out loud. God, really? What the fuck is wrong with people? Oh my god. Well, right back where it started. I was kind of hoping my team would be able to hold him off a little longer. Or do something. Alright. There's a high concentration of bullshit right here. Oh man, that's obnoxious. How many of those are there gonna be? god. Please don't tell me you're gonna die there. Oh my god. Nice. Damn it. Oh well. What? Oh well. Well, that was prolonged, but whew, managed to win all three. There's a part of me that wants to just see if we can continue on this streak, and then I'll just, you know, play this in the background instead of Skyrim. See if we can get to that 2,000 for once. You know what? I'm going to do that since it's the end of the season. We'll get to Skyrim later.
Chat, hello to everybody. Welcome. Does that mean he can't see her again? And so, you know, effectively destroying their whole relationship, and you're like, okay, and it's very sad. And oh man, it was Gary's video on this topic that really pissed me off, because he played clips of David Tennant and Catherine Tate talking about that episode back when it was made, talking about how that's how the story ends, and that's it, and that it's a sad, it's a bittersweet moment because of what was achieved or what has to be done, and you know, it's not ever where you want it. Consequences, you know? And so, if you're gonna undo it, you're gonna have to be really fucking careful. This is something we talk about with almost everything. Like bringing back Palpatine, could you ever do it in a good way? It's like, oh, fucking careful. It's like 1 in a million to do it in the best way possible, you know what I mean? But like with this, they undo that damage, that potential of killing here and now to offspring being split with this horrible problem. They can just get rid of it because they're women.
No, it's because they're non-binary, Mauler.
See, well, no, because Catherine Tate gets rid of it not because she's non-binary, but because she's a woman. Women can release power.
She passes it on to Rose, who can then handle the meta crisis because she's non-binary.
Yeah, but they both release.
Yeah, but that's just a bloke, right?
Yeah, but I was a bit confused because throughout the episode, the transgender kid insists on being referred to as she, but at the end, says male and female. I'm neither. I'm all. Well, if you're all, then why do you insist on being referred to with female pronouns.
No, but you also have Tennant and Donna referring to themselves as binary when they wouldn't be binary. They'd be one or the other. That's not
With
binary.
the
because if
Doctor,
they're
he is
not
the
binary.
definition, or the Doctor is the definition of like non-binary, since he's been both male and female.
Well,
because if the Doctor is binary, then why wouldn't he understand?
as one or the other or both? So the Doctor would be all of them.
If
Because he
the
has to.
trans character became trans because of the binary fleams from the Time Lord's juice, then why wouldn't the Time Lord himself be understanding of the situation? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I
None of it makes
Well,
you know what I wanna do? I
the
wanna go
Doctor
back
can
in
be
time.
animal. Like
I
according
wanna go back in
to the
time.
law, the Doctor can be animals, which is
back
what he
in
meant
time
by
20 years.
and other.
with a recording of this conversation and just play it for people and see how they react.
I know, because we are trying to unravel and make sense of something
Because
that
they
I
made
think
it
is
sci-fi
fundamentally.
mechanics now. These are sci-fi mechanics that I can't make any sense of any of it.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's all, I guess it was all sublimated to the message in this episode, and like it almost didn't matter how they got there as long as they could just get that point across. And
Because I
like you
kind
say,
of
more,
want to
it undoes one of the most touching and poignant story arcs in the 10th Doctor's run of having to let go of like one of his best companions, because if she remembers him, it will kill her. And they do all of this, they bring her back, and they undo this whole thing just by almost flipping a switch. She dies, then she comes back, and then she's fine. She passes on the power to her offspring.
That was also really lame, by the way that they sort of... We were doing clown stuff, and then suddenly they were like, oh, Donna's gonna have to die in order for us to stop this shit. And then David Tennant just switches on like hyperacting. Not bad acting, just acting was like, fuck, I guess we're doing this now. Jeez.
I'm not sure I can complain about that because one of my favorite episodes is the library, and so you get that same kind of thing, and that everyone thinks everyone's died, and then they don't. So
That's not what I'm talking about. Like, I'm talking about the fact that we flipped so quickly from doing like, you know,
that's the same thing
family-
happening in Time to the Library, right? That everyone is supposed to have died and it's ridiculous.
They set it up in that episode though for a while. Like Catherine Tate is
Yeah, oh, I agree. Yeah,
cool. Like they're not
They did
quite
it.
dead, right? Like the characters.
And
And they
they did it with
describe
the
it as cool.
anti-child as well, where like they were able to save everyone. And it was like a whole big thing of like, hey, everyone gets to live in this one.
What I mean is, I'm not against like, oh, everyone's gonna die in the last second.
No, that's fine. It's a question of tone, though. So it's how quickly do you flip from like completely dire, everyone's going to die, to all of a sudden we've moved on from being sort of triumphant, we're talking about something else entirely. There's another scene earlier on when they're talking about Britain's character in the
I was
documentary.
gonna
He's
yes.
dead.
I
And
just
like,
find-
why turn that into a
Man, that was
He's
bad.
not dead. We just stuck him in a home. That's so much better.
Look,
It's like just have a fucking sincere moment that doesn't revolve around fucking roles. Just
it was
the episode.
it was really well done. How Tennant played that entire segment was really well done. It made you feel like this guy obviously liked him a lot. He even said it in the actual episode. It was really emotional. It was impactful. And the next episode was in playing out like comedy moments out of it. This guy died in real life. Like,
This is like
that fucking.
This is the fucking Disney influence right there. This is like straight out of the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
That kind of
How do you-
ridiculous.
Seriously, how do you put a joke like that in there when the actor did actually die as like after they died? Like why would you wanna? It's so like rude. The fact that, and who does that? When you're like, oh, where's your dad? You go, he's not. You go, oh shit, and then they go, no, I didn't mean he's dead. I clearly meant he's not in the house with us right now. Like, what kind of shit joke is that? And then you have the other girl being like, oh yeah, like,
Yeah.
you're not fucking bitter.
So now that's your position as like actors that know what's going on. Now imagine yourself in that kind of like that's in the scene, right? Now imagine you're an actor that knows exactly what's going on, and you're the person that's supposed to be saying that, and really, like somebody else is trying to do this really genuine scene because they've acted with this person for a while, from like 10 years ago, and you're this brand new character coming out of nowhere, and you're just like, that is an entirely different level.
got a question for Azul as well here. So, I know a young wheelchair-bound special needs girl who was dressed in scooter as a half Dalek so that she can play Davros at cons. Now, yeah, because we don't want to have wheelchair users like associated with evil. That was well.
There's that incredibly important, influential character whose name I don't know, who has been on wheelchair that fires rocket seats.
I mean, I tell you though, that children in need special, that whole philosophy, that pissed me off so much. I've made an entire video about it, rant about it, because it's so. Just like the trans allegory in this, like where Russell just takes it upon himself to white knights and protect trans people. He took it upon himself to protect disabled people in that special, and achieved completely the opposite result of what he had intended. Instead of like, oh, we're not going to associate them with bad people. Nobody ever looked at Davros, this fucking mutated monster that was like crippled, and it was in this motorized wheelchair that was clearly like the prototype for the Daleks and how they got around and thought, oh my god, that's how I see all disabled people now. Nobody thought that because we're not idiots. But that's what he reduced it to. It's like the simple-minded association of one person is like disabled in some physical way, therefore everyone's going to associate that with every other person who's physically disabled. It's absolute bullshit, and it takes away so much from people like that, to basically say, right, well, clearly you guys have got no agency. I have to protect you by myself. Like, you're not capable of achieving anything by yourselves. You're not capable of making your own decisions and being held accountable for your own actions. It's got to be people like me who are going to keep you safe from the world. Like, oh, fuck off, you self-righteous prick.
And villains are some of the best characters in all of fiction. Everybody loves a really good villain. If you're now going to try and set up the standard, which is that nobody with a disability can play potentially one, well, in Davros' case, quite literally, one of the most iconic villains in an entire franchise, then you're not actually aiding people. You're certainly not aiding disabled actors. You're denying them the opportunity to play iconic characters. Are we going to now turn around and say, well, Darth Vader was technically a disabled guy, so we're going to have to take him out of the suit of armor now because we can't have a bad disabled character. And we're going to just turn him into generic space twink number 5000, and he's perfect and he's fine.
But like you said, so many people fucking want to cosplay as villains. So many people like villains. So many people, you know, it doesn't matter how many villains you portray with a scar. People also like scars if it's in the right place.
Well, there's a power associated with the antagonist as well. to be able to say, like, okay, Davros may have had a physically crippled body because of injuries he sustained in the war that he was fighting in, but it didn't stop him from achieving a position of enormous power and influence. It didn't undo his like incredible intellect and his military genius, and the fact that he became one of the most dangerous antagonists in the whole of Doctor Who. Like that's an achievement. It's a negative achievement ultimately because he's evil, but it doesn't matter. The point is that's something that he did, and his physical impairments weren't a barrier to doing that. And
that's because the writers don't see these characters as independent third parties that they are writing for. They see these characters as extensions of themselves. So every penalty that they have is them. Every extension, like this bonus, is them. And so if you suddenly write them as Davros, they think you're independently insulting them individually. And that applies to everyone in this certain group. And this is why the idea of one person representing an entire group is so horrendous, in that you can never do anything with that character ever again throughout the entire history of the universe. Because you will be insulting thousands of people rather than an individual person. Loads of people could write Davros as like an individual character that had an entire separate life and went through a unique existence that led him to this position. But the moment you try and write him as a disabled person that represents disabled people, you cut off so many possibilities in that guy's life, you cannot write him as a character. And until this, it's not a case of this point of view hurts the ability of writing. It is literally until this point of view is no longer even considered as a basis of writing, then it will always end up in the same place.
I do like as well, like how their whole philosophy was like, we don't want to associate certain groups with villains and people. So they instead made him white British male.
Oh no, I genuinely
Brilliant.
I think he said exactly what he intended to say. Because if you look at the quote, I mean, in my videos I keep quoting it. To me, it was so extreme and so out there that I just kept putting it in. But he wasn't saying other people. He said, I have a problem with this, and I and other people in my unit have a problem with this, and we have a problem with associating disabled people with evil. It's like everyone else didn't. No, it was him and the people in his unit. And so as far as I'm concerned, everyone else is fine. It is literally that he and the people with him should be fired because, quite frankly, if you can't even perceive a certain group of people to exist in a fantasy universe without being evil, that's a step too far. And you clearly can't actually do it in any kind of story.
Let's say.
Well, I was going to say, if you follow that to its natural conclusion, you not only prevent actors who are disabled or who are using wheelchairs from playing certain roles like villains or even more the ambiguous characters, you're going to have to go back and replace characters where the disability is inherent to the characters. So, for example, Richard III, do you say you just can't have a performance of Richard III anymore because he's a humpback and he's disabled, so no, we're not going to ever have that play again. And I know the Royal Shakespeare Company is very woke, so they're going to have to consider that. Are they going to
imagine it
do
like
it again, and if they do it again, are they going to have them humpback? They're going to have them man, men are evil. So are they going to erase that character, and not just Richard III, but any disabled character that
It's good all the way back around.
whether in theatre or is this what we're doing now? The villains only be able bodies? Are you going to go back to the Western and replace all of the villains that aren't able-bodied white men?
I'm just imagining Captain Hook where they just CGI on a really shitty hand.
Well, I mean, you have to remember, like, in theatrical releases, it used to be only men that could play any character. So it would only be men that would play even female characters or anything else. If you go back far enough to, like, Victorian times and everything. So we may genuinely going back far enough where everything gets so sensitive that you can't access any of these people, that we just end up with everyone being white men all over the place.
I was about to say, we're circling all the way back around. You see these people who are like, oh, we got a humpback, can't have that, this, that, can't have that, can't have that.
Yeah.
And then they just, like, they start getting to a point where it's such shorthand. They, like, see somebody with, you know, no arm, they just go, ugh, disabled people. Ugh.
Yeah, it's kind of like how
I mean,
feminism
wait,
has
was
gone
different
through
than Doctor Who?
circle.
You would assume that their end point would be that you know, anyone who's from a protected group can only ever be portrayed in a positive light. They have to be the heroes.
Well, so
they have to be
that's what I
morally
was gonna say.
infallible.
Buying those premises, right, which we never would, but let's say we actually did, there's only ever been evil disabled characters, and that has created a subconscious element in all of us. Whenever we see a disabled person, we automatically go, oh, they're probably a bit evil. You know, that's something that's happened. All right, RTD, what's the solution then? It's like, well, we need to create more characters in fiction that are disabled, that are good. And it's like, okay, let's do it. What have we got? And it's like this cartoonishly stupid woman in a wheelchair that fires rockets, to the point where everyone who sees that laughs. I need to know if that's what Russell thought was going to happen, or if he thought everyone was going to fucking fist pump, be like, yeah, disabled people.
I really hope
Yeah,
he
I mean,
thought that
it's
was
not even
funny, because
rockets,
if he
man.
didn't see how funny that was, then he's just completely gone. Because that was very funny.
I honestly think that was legit. They thought that was
That
going to
was.
be like disabled power. Yay.
Which is devastating, because like, otherwise I'd be mounting a defense of that character. If you're going to box stick in that way, then at least make it funny and kind of enjoyable, and you don't make too much of a political point of it. And I thought, you know, if that's the latest with wheelchair, James Bond wheelchair woman, then that's fine. But yeah, now you mention it, you probably did think that she's a really genuine heroic character, in which case it's all the better.
I'd like to point out as well, the resistance leader from Invasion of the Daleks, like way back in the 1960s, was black and white. He was in a wheelchair, like trying to fight against the Daleks and that they incorporated that into his character in such a way that it didn't come across as stupid or pandering. A man struggling with whatever he was able to do physically, and it didn't have him shooting rockets out of his wheelchair or anything ridiculous like that. That's, I guess, how you would handle stuff like that, but they can't get away with that now. They can't let it go. It has to be like, no, they are they are super powered because of their wheelchair. Like,
The one I can't remember was, and it's one of my favorite episodes, but I don't know the name. I'm terrible. But where Martha is going around the world telling people the story of the Doctor. And it's got the Master in it, and the Doctor is contained by the Master, but Martha tells everyone a story of the Doctor, and then she frees him. That is about as great a story of how normal people can make a difference as I could possibly imagine. Because she literally is supposed to have gone around the entire world telling people this story of the power of the Doctor. And as long as everyone thinks of the Doctor at the same time, then the entire world will create something out of it. No, but it was literally like what the Master has set in place had focused everybody's thoughts into one kind of being. But what I mean is that was literally everybody around the world's focused mental energy into one being, compared to this, which was just, you know, a few people thought about it. You see, from the only one really, wasn't it? It was Donna's daughter. Donna's daughter thought of this, and she just flipped a few switches.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It was the entire scale.
She undid the damage done to the soldiers right at the time because they walked into the room and said, "We have orders to kill you."
Yeah.
It didn't do.
Yeah.
Was used by soldiers.
Like, I don't know whether you like answered this or anything already, but I don't understand why Donna died in that scene and then just revived for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Like, she did actually die, and then 3 minutes later came back to life.
And I'm not entirely clear how she came back to life. She just it's
No.
like it's like her alarm just went off and
Yeah. The only, like, genuinely the only reason I can think of it, she was supposed to have died, and then she came back 2 minutes later when she was no longer supposed to be there. She was. Like, it was literally just an emotional impact. There was no story reason, there was no character reason, like, even an attempt. No, she died. Like, she genuinely, like, as far as everyone else is concerned, died, and then just woke up. Random.
Is it just me, or is this whole concept of bringing back David Tennant, bringing back Donna, it just kind of feels like, what's it like in this film? It's like, I don't know, Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, where it's like, you've got Indy back, and you've got Marion back, now, and the actors aren't really that invested in it. And it's just like, well, let's just bring back some familiar things.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to picture season. What is this series?
Who cares?
Yeah, well, you have to picture that as an entity digging its fangs into like David Tennant's run and just sucking any last bit of juice they can out of it and being like, "This is us now."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's how I see all of it. Marvel's the same, Star Wars is the same.
This was 100% cynical. This wasn't like, oh, we got a really artistic, creative story to tell with this Doctor. It's like, no, we're just going to bring back David Tennant because we know we aren't helping Doctor Who anymore. Let's bring back the most popular Doctor that's still alive and like hope that we can recapture the magic.
It's like carbon offsetting. They go through an entire series where they experiment and it's really unpopular. And then they think, well, that's fine, because we'll do like 3 episodes special, and then we'll give you someone that you remember liking again. That's fine. Build up the credit again, and then we can do another new brand new experimental thing for the entire series after that. That will definitely work, guys. Trust me. The viewing figures will be brilliant all the way through season 14 or whatever we're on. Except, of course, that they're not, because is it half the number of people watched even this 60th anniversary has watched the 50th one, I think it is. It's all on a downward trajectory because you can't keep doing this. You can't keep saying, we're going to bring back the guy you like for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to use that goodwill on whatever we're trying to push next. People don't like being patronized, and they know when they are being patronized, and they know when they're being taken for a ride. On a wheelchair or otherwise.
Literally pick a franchise and then tell yourself what you would do to do the equivalent, and it has been done. Star Wars, like bring, well, Han, Luke, and Leia. It's like, yeah. Star Trek's like, well, I guess it would be the TNG crew. It's like, yep, they've done that. It's like Jurassic Park. I guess you bring back all the main characters of the first film. Yep, they did that. And you're like, fuck, what else we got? It's like Predator. Like they haven't brought Arnie back in that yet, so we can
Oh,
be
let's
thankful
keep it-
about that.
keep
But,
it
you know,
Yeah.
Terminator. He's been in every single fucking one of the sequels. They've all sucked ass anyway. Like this is the attitude. It's just like this will work, right? This is what it would do. And you know, this was absolutely. Remember, Doctor Who was about to be destroyed, like ended, stopped, experiencing like a complete cancellation.
Yeah, I think
Having-
it was at one point, and it was
Yeah.
only they came back to it and like, well, could we revive it maybe?
If
I
anything
don't think
could
you should
revive
for
it,
these
could
kind
it
of viewing
be
figures.
Tennant, Tate, and RTD, and it's like, well, that combination evokes a very, very healthy and strong time for that show. So, but I mean, we've seen what they did with it. So,
And
Was
the thing is as well, like it's so fucking cowardly because this is not supposed to be the same Doctor. This is like the
Yes.
14th Doctor, so he's a different
Yeah.
reincarnation of him, but he's got the same face. Okay, they even put him though in the same clothes. Like why?
Yeah.
He's supposed to keep a unique identity now. You're not going to do
He's
anything with
Tennant,
that because it's David Tennant, so of course we've got to put him back in the suit that everyone recognizes him from because that's their member bearer. Of course it does.
But he did an interview where him and Russell T Davies were together. Look, are you a new Doctor? And he was, well, you know, it feels like a bit of a waste if I'm an entire different. And I agree, right? There has to be some kind of link to the past, otherwise it's not going to so I agree that it should be linked. And then
I
you
do
get, well,
agree. We can give him a chance to do something new. He's an actor, great actor.
yes, he might be an actor, but you're trying to save the series, right? So
Okay,
when you're
not
trying to
David Series of
no, that doesn't matter what happened. It matters. Like look at the it doesn't matter what happened. It matters that you're trying to so you're trying to save an entire franchise from utter and complete destruction. You're probably going to want to try something new and not. So you can repeat some things from the past, but you're probably going to want to not repeat everything because everything killed it. And so I do get that. Obviously I'm against what they did with it, but I'm not against like also having a merge of his previous characters and his new character combined. The issue is that there's so much stuff they could have done. There's so many stories they could have done. Like if you got really involved with it, and people will be like, oh no, you're destroying more stuff. It's like yes, but you have to remember how destroyed it is. Like, after all of the characters, all of the stuff that's happened, wipe out something and replace it and I don't even think they can one series. I think they can use him and River and all the old characters back from multiple series just to get people back on side.
It would be catastrophic if it was written the way that they've written it. Bring more
No, I entirely agree. Yeah, I am not defending this episode at all. The moment you tried to write this episode, you killed it. And I don't know any way forward from this episode.
I find that whatever you wrote for the character be it 100% the same as the previous number 10, or if you make him completely different, like a top if you make him a version of 10 that's even like more aggressive or ego-driven. I think all of those options can work. But like what they seemed to go with was it's 10, he's back, but he has no spine. I'm like, oh, great.
This episode is Jodie Whittaker just like carried on.
I mean, there's some stuff he said, like the characters, some stuff he said that I even enjoyed here and there. And like, I think that David Tennant's still a great actor. He still nails what he meant to nail. I just don't like the majority of the writing in the episode. And that includes the character writing for him and several others.
I'm not against him as an actor. I think Jodie Whittaker could have done. I think Jodie Whittaker could have said any of these lines and it would have worked.
I don't think the whole scene about like Donna and Rose lecturing the Doctor, that would never have been like if somehow you'd reversed all the genders of this one, so you had two men essentially like lecturing Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, they would never have been and Jodie Whittaker would never be able to sell it.
Yeah, but that's a specific our current year social issue rather than a sort of within the universe itself. Like that is a problem with the people writing it in their obsession with current rather than the series.
Well, yeah, as we said just like 5 minutes ago, like the viewing figures of this episode have not panned out. Like it's sitting at something like 5 million viewers, I think, that it got. Pretty much fully amalgamated, which is only about 1 million better than Whitaker's run, which is not the number we were expecting. And I think it kind of shows the degree to which the Doctor Who brand has been rendered and damaged.
Join the fucking fire. Like the rest of them are realizing this. Like Marvel's having a horrible realization right now. Other ideas doing. Star Wars is afraid to release a movie because they know what's going to happen in the box office.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, I consider myself more from a normal perspective, like a normal English perspective. I know Doctor Who a lot better than I know Star Wars. I've got a lot more merch about Doctor Who than I've got the other sonic screwdrivers and stuff. I don't of Star Wars, and I think this one cuts a lot deeper than Star Wars does. Star Wars feels like an IP further and further away than to the traditional kind of Englishman point of view.
Well, that's a truism. The thing that's been destroyed that I care most about cuts me most deeply. I mean, obviously, I give more of a shit about Star Wars, so I care
As do
more
I.
about what Star Wars has gone through.
No,
But
I know.
I understand the parallel between the two, which is that both are very deeply loved and have a very strong core audience, which is now feeling pretty miserable about what has happened to both of them. And the fact that pretty much the same thing seems to have happened to both of them, and in quite a short space of time. Doctor Who's probably more useful in this because Russell T Davies, you know, it was only in, is it the late 2000s when he left, when he was still telling stories, in the space of, what, a decade
And he
at
told
most, it's gone down to this. So it's a more useful, like, dramatic, even, explainer of how quickly this social change has impacted film. In Star Wars.
Well, the question then is like, well, where is what are the ratings going to be like when we actually get the properly new Doctor in? Because David Tennant was supposed to be the hype man for this new guy. He was going to get the viewers back because everyone remembers him, everyone loves the 10th Doctor. This was going to be the thing that was going to bump up the viewing figures big time. And then when the new guy comes in, enthusiasm for Doctor Who is going to be at an all-time high, and it hasn't happened. And so it makes you think, well, okay, like how far is it going to crash when this poor other guy comes in?
Well, it raises an interesting question from my perspective, because one of the things that I've been harping on about is that essentially the people in Hollywood and BBC to a degree, it's impossible for them to make a story that the audience resonates with because they no longer hold the morals of the audience. Like, they have an entirely different moral paradigm to the audience. Now, Russell T Davies was fully capable of writing stories that the audience liked with morals that they agreed with, and now he's changed. So my question would be more regarding, do you think that he can write a story that the audience still agrees with from a moral perspective, so like the good and evil, or do you think that he would be capable of writing one which would mix the story of what Hollywood wants with regards to changing the moral paradigm compared to what the audience is willing to accept with the qualities of good story? Because I know a lot of people, like, the quality of a good story for them is like the hero's journey and everything. It's more academic than moral. Depends where you land on that.
It depends about if you're. The essential distinction is: are you an artist telling a story, or are you a propagandist who is deliberately breaking immersion in order to tell the audience something you think they need to hear? And almost without fail, the propagandist who sacrifices the fundamental tenet of drama, which is the immersion and the suspension of disbelief, in order to push any moral message, is not going to be as popular as the person who wants to tell a very, very good story, which may have moral presuppositions baked into it, but is not trying to lecture the audience about a particular moral political message. I don't think it matters if it's the woke person doing this in the case of Doctor Who, or if it's some Christian evangelist nutbag doing God's Not Dead. It's equally cringe because you're still lecturing people in their seats and not inviting them into a story which contains its own reason for being.
Do you not think that, to answer the specific question about Russell T Davies, like, is he capable of doing it? Yeah, he's clearly proven that he is a capable writer when he is unfettered by. Yeah, well, exactly. And like, he has done it in the past. So like, when he's unfettered by like modern political considerations and the constant need to drive home this message in everything he does, he can do it. It's just I don't think he's willing to let go of that platform now.
To almost push back on that from that Children in Need special or whatever, and this episode and what he said about it. This looks like this is him. This is his work. He's happy with it.
Yeah,
no, like,
I think I think he has now been subsumed by the message to the point where that's kind of all he cares about. And I wouldn't be surprised if that was his motivation for coming back to doing Doctor Who again.
I think he's basically said that that's why he came back. Like he's spoken about the ecology point of view and how he feels like before he wanted to give children hope, but now he wants to give children like he didn't want children to be scared before, but now he's more than happy to terrify them because of the world is in such dire straits. So you definitely know where he lands.
To use Platoon's maxim for this, like he is no longer an artist; he's a propagandist. With a thin veneer of art sitting on top of it, and that's makes him pretty shit, really, as a creative.
If he was still an artist and not a propagandist, would the BBC accept that? And would Platoon was mentioning earlier that Disney are invested in Doctor Who, so would they accept it, or would they say no, we don't want this guy? We want someone who is more. They wouldn't say propagandist. We want someone who will push the message. They'd probably say something like,
"I don't buy it."
We want someone who is more in tune with modern ideas and who is willing to use the platform to do good in the world. That's how they word it.
At the very least.